Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I wanted to show you all Google Earth Pro. We are in Italy. We are looking at the ground. I took a screenshot and I cropped it 1:1, and I got the scale set at 2048 by 2048. So if our terrain block in our world editor, if our map is a 2048 by 2048 in size, well, if the image is 2048 by 2048, and you go to the game and you set this for a terrain paint, then it will cover the entire map. If you paint the entire map, that is. I didn't paint the whole map. I was just doing this as an example, because this video is going to talk about these PBR terrain paints that are a lot of work. So as you can see, let's close all this. So let's close everything so we can go to our terrain tools, terrain painter, and we will pick dirt loose. Double click it to load it into the load the material library. So dirt loose, I'm going to go ahead and rename this to New Utah 2. Then we'll hit enter. Let me go ahead and save that. See, New Utah 2. Alright. So first thing when you're doing PBR materials, the first thing to look at is here in these edit terrain materials texture set properties. Right. You see how there is a base texture size 2048 by 2048. This is advisable to be set at the size of your map. If your map is a 4096 by 4096, and you'd want to set that to 4096 by 4096 for optimal results. On the same hand, though, you wouldn't really want to put a 4096 in a map that is 2048. So, with that being said, we come up to base color, and the first thing here is our base texture for what you see here. This is responsible for what you see when you are far away. As you can see, this is this. If we get up close, the next thing you're going to see is what is known as the macro texture. Okay. The macro texture is a 1024 by 1024. So as we get closer to this, we will see that macro texture appear. And there it is. I made these very, very different so that it would be obvious to see what these changes are doing when we make them. I know this is very ugly. The next thing is the detail. Now, you would think you only see detail when you're up close. Well, pretty much. Mostly. That's also going to be a 1024 by 1024. As we get even closer, you will start to see this appear in the macro. See it? See these little bitty rocks here? That's what you see in here. If I put this at the detail strength to 0, well, you're not going to see it. However, the next number is its strength away from the camera. So out here, if I turn that to 0, then it doesn't draw out there either. Macro is the same thing. up close, if I turn the macro to 0, we won't see it up close very well. If I turn it off far away, you won't see it either. Now, you may say, well, you know what, that is kind of cool. Yeah, I see how that works. So you want it to fade at a distance there. You don't want it to abruptly end like that. You know. All right, now with this being said, we come down to macro distances, which is at the bottom. You have the end fade and the far fade and the near fade and the start fade. And then it's attenuation. So the only way to really explain this is to just put that to 0. Let's do end fade 100. Well, what do you know? At 100 meters, it faded. So, what would putting, say, far, let's see, what would 50 do here? Nothing. What if this was 200 and this was 50? What if this was 100? What if that was 100? See what I mean? What if that was 100? What if that was 100? What if that was 1 and that was 1? The attenuation. Oh, see. Now, you can start to see how this comes into effect. Well, it just looks like it got a little brighter or just a little bit darker. Yes, yes, yes. It is quite a mystery. One that has... There we go. Now we're getting where we want. We want it to start to fade into the distance there. Oh, okay. See, that's what that did. Okay, so maybe that could be that, and maybe this could be 0.1. Maybe no, that's 1.8. Okay, that's still kind of it's 0.8. Nope. 0.1. Nope. Let's see. Cállate. Cállate. Hear people talking out there. Okay, go to oh shit. What did I have this thing set at? The idea is you want it to blend as it gets into the background, but not too abruptly, you know. You want it to kind of feather. Just when you think you'll have it figured out, you don't have it figured out. It's quite a thing there to get it worked out. Okay. Okay, this needs to be less. No, that needs to be less. Holy crap, man. We're gonna get it. We will get it. Okay, that's for that. What's that? Okay, that's that. That needs to be 1. That could be 0.1. That's for that there, and that has to do with, and all these work with each other. So, as you can see, as we change these, now this is kind of close here. This is what I'm looking for. So it kind of fades out there. Oh shit. Don't need to be that. That's fine. That is fine. That's fine. That's fine. Holy crap. That's a lot of damn. Whew, a lot of work. Now the macro strength, I could put that at 0.5 and 0.5, and you see it gets less if I put it at 0, 0. Alright, so the next thing, let's turn this one off. Let's turn on the detail. So this is the detail. If this is also on, you'll get a mix of both of them. If this is 0 and 0, and you know, this is the total amount. This is up close, and this is the detail for far away. So if I say 1 and 1, yeah. Now, as in height here, there's also detail distances, which you may not want these the same as you want your macro. So if I were to put 15, 15, 35, the same as the macro, well, alright, that needs to be 1. That needs to be, that's fine. Alright. Next thing. I know it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. Believe me, I know. I spent days doing this to try to make this video so that it's easy to understand. And not too long of a video, but this is not going to be a short video. It's not going to be. So, the next thing is we got the macro scale. What do you think that is? Well, we have detail on now. Let's change the detail scale and let's see what that does. Well, it makes the scale of the detail larger. Now we'll turn the detail off. Turn the macro back on. Now let's change the macro scale. You can see how this is changing, right? So if you get far away from the camera, you see how our macro is drawing in. But far away, you see this base texture here. Which this thing's scale, like I said, you want this pretty much to be whatever the size of your map is, but you can change this. You can change it. Now, I have changed the base scale because maybe I don't want the damn thing to be the whole size of the map. Maybe I want it to give me a little more detail up close, but still different than the macro. You know what I mean? See. Now I realize these do not go well together. But it does give you the idea how these work off of one another. Maybe you want the macro to see farther than that, and that's where this macro distances come in. Say 500. Oh, far needs to change also. See, now you can see the macroing farther away. It's not really advisable to put the detail very far. I believe this can be pretty performance intense when it's having to figure out high detail for far away over a large area. I don't know. I would think they got the thing turned down for a good reason. Uh, so I'm gonna Control Z to get back to where we were before I just did that. Because I forgot what I had in here. Alright. The next thing, let's clear this. Clear the detail in the macro. So all we're looking at is the base. Let me make this the same size as the map. So the next thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the next thing. That's the normals. What are normals? Normals are what give the illusion of 3 dimension. So let me find where that weird terrain paint is. I think it's there is one that is really distinctive that will make a good point. That'll work. No, it won't. Shit. Down. There they are. That's what I'm looking for. Bake texture 1. That's where that shit's at. I gotta remember that. Alright, so let's open this normals. So let's see what normals do. We'll put the normals on the base. And there you go. This is kind of like dragon scales, normals. But you see how they affect the terrain paint. Now, that's for the base, which is the entire map. So what goes there is what's being applied to the entire map. If your texture is in fact scaled at 2048. But you can scale this also to be smaller. But remember, if you do, you're also going to be scaling the base color at the same time, which you're going to be scaling that, which that will set to 2048. Now they have it programmed to do that by default, but you can manually override it. I haven't tried to. I don't know where exactly that is, but I have read about it. So that's the base, and that's the base normals. That's what that goes with. The next normals is the macro normals. The macro normals will be a 1024 by 102048. That will be for, well, I turned it off, for that texture. So let's go back to that folder where these very unique oh, I don't have a 1024 damn normal in there. Just a 2048s. Okay, we'll pick a different one. A different one. It's the same folder. 1024 normal. Okay, there we go. How about that cracked mud? Alright, so when we apply this, you see, it put the cracked mud on the surface there. I mean, I could put less. Point two. Remember, as with the others, this second one's for far away. This is up close. Let's change that to something different. A few different normals. Oh, okay. How about that one? Okay, well, yeah, it's not, you don't see very well, but it's there. Trust me. Alright, now let's make this one invisible. And now let's show you the detail texture. And yes, this is even another normal map. Do something, let's see, let's get a different one for that one. That needs to be a 1024 normal. How about that one? I don't know. And you see, that's applied. You have both of these on, but you may not see them both until you make one less than the other. And you're kind of balancing, but change the scale. Oh, remember, you're changing scale, you're also changing the scale of the texture. So you're not just changing the scale of the normals. Let's move on. Let's do do something different for that. Trying to give good examples here. You know, something that contrasts well with the others so you can see the differences that it's making. And remember, normals too, depends on your light and your scene, how your light, like if we go to time day and we start fiddling with the light, I think I can hit play, just let it play the time, and day scale. It's not playing, is it? Oh, daylight length. There we go. That'll be fine. Night scale, I'll make that just go by real quick, so it ain't night but a second, but it'll stay day longer. The length, the day length. Alright, that's how you fool with the time and real time and all that stuff. I just wanted it to be changing so we can see these normals change. Oh man, what a lot of shit. So yeah, these are the normals for this one. And we're just looking at the normals. Now we go to the roughness. how this is affecting the roughness. Now we're just looking at normals. I remember I turned the textures off. So we're just looking at how the roughness map for the macro. Roughness for the macro. Put that at 0, 0, and you'll see the change that makes when the roughness is off. Oh, that's not 0. There we go. 0 and 0 roughness. 1 in the distance for roughness. See, that's that roughness being worked on in the distance. Let's turn that off and let's put it in the foreground. Roughness, oh, oops. Roughness in the foreground, but not the background. Maybe we want a different map to be the roughness for that. I don't know. Let's see what else we get in here. We got many maps. Over a large area, there are many. See how these got the little balls here? You can see the little balls now here too. Now I got them in the distance. I don't know, maybe we want the scale smaller. But remember, it will change the scale of everything else. It kind of look like ocean, a little bit. Alright, now we got the detail for the macro. I mean, not the macro, but the up close. The up close detail, which is already something different than that, but I guess we can switch it to something else. Something uniquely different. Okay, how about this? Oh, yes, you can see. I think this was grass. Now I turned it up higher. You can definitely see that the roughness is like for a grass. See? And put this 0.5, 0.5. Alright, the next one is I skipped it apparently, the one for far away. The roughness for the far away. So, what is the normal map? I think the normal map for this far away was this one I said was this dragon scale. So let's change that to something different. It has to be a 2048 normal though, because it is in place of the base. I think I got one in here for a fence. Yeah, like a chain link fence. See, so this is the normals for a chain link fence for that. Alright, for the base texture. Remember, we got the base, and then we got the normals for the base. Now we're talking about the roughness for the base. So ideally, you would use something, a roughness that would complement what the normals are. So, but I don't know that I have a chain roughness. Let's see, where was this at? That was in, where was that? Bake texture 1 folder. Alright. And a different level at that. Yeah, don't ever do this. Don't ever go to different levels for your assets like this. Did I bake a roughness for that chain? Oh, I got a base map. I got oh, these are all DDS. Wait a minute. I did not bake a roughness for that damn chain 1024. Damn it. Oh, damn it. I'll do it real quick. Hold on. I want to do this right. hard drive space. All right. Make this grayscale, mode grayscale. Export as PNG. Oh, change the size, resolution. 1024 by 1024. Damn, it takes a long time to scale for some reason. Export as. 1024. G for grayscale. Or roughness. I just put an R for roughness. Probably makes more. Make it easier to remember. Wait a minute. I said 1024, right? Let me refresh. Son of a gun. That ain't what I'm thinking. That ain't what I'm thinking. No, it's supposed to be a 2048. What the hell? No. Yeah, I'm damn confusing my damn self. It has to be the 2048. What the hell am I thinking? I already had that, I thought. Oh, lordy. We in the wrong folder. Damn, there we go. Now you can see how the roughness map is doing correctly with the normals for that fence. So what's the next one? Oh, ambient occlusion. Oh, the lordy. So ambient occlusion for that fence. Well, let's do something pretty drastic here. All right, so you see this here? I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna say half of this, and I'm gonna feather, right? I'm gonna say feather 1000. Now I'm gonna go and image, no, colors, levels, and no. Better yet, let's do it this way. Let's use the burn tool, and let's burn. Burn is like adding shadows, but we're gonna burn the highlights. Burn the shadows and the midtones. Now I'm going to hold Alt down to use the dodge tool, and I'm going to lighten the other side. Or is it the control key? It's the control key. Is dodge. Or, yeah, dodge. I thought, yeah, control. So what we got is like a gradient. Now, I'm going to save this. (1024) AO. Yeah, AO. But it needs to be a 2048. Let me scale it real quick. Because we are at the base image, not the macro or normal yet. That's a lot of shit to do this. Believe me, I spent many moons. And I still can't explain it easily. Okay, now we will do the ambient occlusion for that. So it should be a 2048 AO. There it is. Now you see it's darker on the top and lighter on the bottom. That should be apparent when we apply it. Let's zoom out. Yeah. So if we were looking at it how it was in the image, basically the bottom was the lighter side and the top was the darker. So you can see how as it shifting, the bottom tends to stay a little longer than the top. It goes into darkness. Oh, it has a lot of stuff to go over. Probably what would have worked better. I know what worked a lot better. Watch this. Watch these here. Put this big letter here. Gonna be a 1000. Letter A. Do I have shit, flatten it, I guess. Export as. We'll just overwrite the other one. No, we won't. We'll do that. And it is a grayscale. Let's load that one into here and see if we can see a big letter A. Save changes. Oh, there it is. I see it, letter A. So you see how the ambient occlusion now is also affecting what is in here. Now the same thing will work if you go to the ambient occlusion for the other textures too. You know what? Let's make this. Well, if I knew it was going to take that damn long. Damn, how long does it take to pick? That's a magic wand. It's not as good as Photoshop's. Or I just out of memory. I don't know. Hell with it. Let me do it this way. I'm just going to adjust the levels. like that, so it's more distinct. Export as, oh no. Change the scale first, 1024, because you're doing the macro and the detail now. And I think it's gonna be a long time. Yep. Bam. Alright, export as 1024. AO. Okay. And guess what? That's the macro for the ambient occlusion. I'll just reuse the same one for the detail also. Remember, the detail is a little bit smaller scaling. See, if I scale that, you can see how the macro you can see how these ambient occlusion maps. Now you're using your imagination. You're not really going to put a letter A on these. These would be ambient occlusions to complement whatever it is. Say if it was a bunch of cracks in the ground, then you would make an ambient occlusion where the cracks are dark and then the other parts are not dark, and and we zoom out, you can see how all these work together. See, there's that big letter A. That's the base texture. Then we get closer, and then and guess what? We got one more. That's right, we got the height map now. Yes, it's a lot of shit. So, let's load Blender. I'm not gonna do much other than show you how a height map is captured. So say, let's just load the damn project. I'll just reopen it. That way I don't have to do it again. And I shared this too, by the way, a few days ago. Okay, where is it? Height map blend. Okay, this is set perfect. This will capture a height map of this, but you don't want it in the ground because you'll be clipping. You don't want it too high either, so you want it kind of here and here. Now this is set up with a shader. The shader is what makes it render white being the top and dark being the bottom part. So if you were to say go into edit mode and you were to pick some of these, and I don't know, maybe you want to move them up high. Then we go back to object mode. You can see how, let's move that down. You can see how now the top is white. If we go to camera mode and we bake that, that will make that. Now let me in real time go to sculpt mode, and I'm gonna negatively draw into the ground. Let me get a brush too. Let's get a paintbrush from the Blender kit. Let's get this human iris, or no, I don't know. Let's see what we got here. I thought it was like a volcano or something. Yeah, volcano 1. I don't see it. Oh, dummy. Because it's a stencil. It's a stencil. Uh-oh, that's all messed up. Hold on a minute. Pick a different brush. Actually, let's go back. I'll just draw with a negative. So you see as I am raising up part of the ground, hold on, raising up part of the ground, lowering part of the ground. We go to our camera view. That'll be an elevation map for that. Where the white is the top and the black is the lowest points. Let me reload. Shit. Well, you see how they're done, right? You saw how they're made. We don't have to do it. We can load one that's already done. So yeah, so this height map here, we'll load a height map that's already made. So we'll look for one of theirs. Remember, it's got to be the 2048 of it. Yeah, that's the only one for that there. Okay, that's the one that's already in it. But I don't know how the hell to tell if that is in fact that. Save as grayscale. PNG, black and white, 8-bit color, no compression. This will be 2048 underscore H for height. Well, where did I save it to? levels, used all art terrain, my paint 1. Trying to see if I can tell that in the height at all. I sure as hell can't tell. Maybe turn these off too. And the macro off. And the normals off. But even though those are off, we're still looking at now I see it, but it's also because I used it as a damn base color. Is it really making an elevation change, or is it? Nah, I don't like it's actually changing the damn terrain. So I'm not really sure how these damn things are supposed to work. Oh, wait a minute. Gotta go back down here. I don't think this ain't gonna do anything. These are for the macro height map for the macro and the detail, but I see it, but I think I'm only seeing it because there's the damn texture also. The only way I would know is if I just make a damn blank image that's completely blank and put it in there. Just nothing but just like a new 1024 or 2048. The most neutral color that there could be, like medium gray. Alright, we'll export this as Z. Where did I damn put it? Export as. No, I don't know. I don't see it making a difference. I don't know what the hell it really does. It's supposed to be, supposed to change somehow, make the elevation. Let's do this. Let's load that into here. Or the one that's just a letter. That letter A. I gotta find it. Where is it? Art, bake, texture. Alright. Should be a concave A in the ground, if that's a real elevation map, but I don't see it. Ain't doing nothing to that terrain. Nothing I can see anyway. Nothing at all.